videos have been edited and will not follow the direct driver flow of an intake for a specified program. The intent of these videos is to demonstrate interview techniques and necessary discussions. It is not intended to be a system walkthrough, but more to demonstrate the process flow for using one to determine eligibility for specified programs. This video will guide you through the process of completing an interview and data collection with an Oregonian who is applying for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. It includes short-term transitional processes and other processes used during the COVID-19 waiver period. Dean Martin is a single adult who needs help with food benefits. Dean worked at Winco, but because of COVID-19, he lost his job. Dean calls the One Customer Service Center to apply for food benefits.
Hello, thank you for calling the One Customer Service Center. This is Meg. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm looking to apply for food benefits. How does this work?
Sure. So I'd be more than happy to help walk you through that application process. Can we get started with your Social Security number?
The eligibility worker searches for the customer in One and Legacy.
All right, so I want to let you know that the appointment can take some time. Are you currently available to complete the appointment?
Yeah, sure. I called when I have time, so I can do that.
Great.
The eligibility worker begins data collection process by completing application registration and clicking Submit and Continue Intake. The eligibility worker then collects demographic information and, if applicable, relationships for each household member, and enters information that is unique to the household.
Okay, Dean, so now we're going to review some income information. I'm going to start out with some yes or no questions, and then we'll get into some details about it, okay?
Okay.
Great. So do you currently have any employment or wages or income that's coming in for you? Any earned income?
Well, I've been working at Winco, but because of the pandemic, they had to let me go.
Okay. So we'll get started by grabbing some of that information. And you say let you go. I just want to make sure that doesn't mean on strike. Is that correct?
Oh, no, I want to work.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. And then you mentioned due to the pandemic, so we've been in that for a little while now. Approximately, did that happen within the last 30 days or was it older than that?
The last 30 days.
Okay.
I got my last paycheck a little while ago.
Okay. And then any kind of self-employment for you, either since then or before?
No, I haven't figured out anything to do quite yet.
Okay. And then how about any unearned income like Social Security, unemployment, retirement, pensions, or otherwise?
No, ma'am.
Wonderful. Are you doing any kind of unpaid work like volunteer, job training, that kind of information?
I'm cleaning my own house, but
All right, good deal. And then any other sort of kind of random leftover income? Are you receiving money from any third parties, any vocational trainings, foster care, disability, royalties, anything like that?
No, I applied for unemployment, but they say it takes a really long time these days, like in the news and stuff, that they're really behind, so I don't expect to hear anything from that for a while.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay. All right, so you mentioned that you were working at Winco, and I'm just going to gather some of those details now. Bear with me as I get this started here. Approximately when did you start with them?
When did I do what?
When did you start working for Winco?
Oh, about a year ago.
Okay. All right. And you're not temporarily on leave without pay, right? You were actually laid off. Is that correct?
Right, yeah. I
Okay.
work in the cake decorating department, and nobody's having parties right now.
Oh, gosh, that's so true. Okay. All right. So what was your last day of work?
Last day of work was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So maybe around the 25th was a Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your final pay date, when did you actually get your final paycheck?
This past Friday.
Okay. And my calendar tells me that was the 2nd. Would you agree?
Yes, that sounds right.
Wonderful. Okay. Do you happen to know how much your gross income before any deductions was of your paycheck?
Yeah, I have it in front of me, and it says it's $482.36.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. And then I'm just filling out some other sections of that. So bear with me just a second. And then approximately how many hours per week were you hired to work?
I was doing like 4 to 5 days a week at 8 hours each shift.
Okay.
8.5. They always schedule that extra half so they can have lunch, right?
Sure. So somewhere between 32 and 40, what would you guess?
Yeah, about 34 hours.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. And I'm just getting that added. Let's make sure that it's going to save. Bear with me. Okay.
The eligibility worker goes over many different screens with the customer. Be sure to check Income Eligibility Verification Screens, or IVES, as this is a part of the eligibility process. If conflicting information is found, it will need to be addressed with the customer. Additionally, a case note stating all appropriate IVES screens checked will be needed.
Okay. So, Dean, I've got the basic information for your employer. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm not missing any other records here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How often were you paid at Winco? Was it weekly?
It was bi-weekly,
Okay.
like every other week, like
Okay.
every other Friday. Yeah.
Perfect. And you said Fridays. Okay. So those were the days a week that you got paid on?
Yeah.
Okay. And then was your about $482, was that the pretty average amount for you?
Well, we were kind of like in between like weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like a one week check,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you usually work 34 hours a week, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
And were you at $12 an hour?
Sure.
I'm just using my calculator and doing some quick math. So using those figures that we just agreed on, your average average paycheck before any deductions would be about $875, $877. Does that make sense? Sound about right?
Yeah, it does, because the other one was like 400 and some.
Perfect. Okay. So
Like, are they going to count my income even though I'm not working?
they count it for the very initial month that you received it. So you received your final paycheck on the 2nd, so it would count towards October benefits, but not after that. And they're only going to count the amount that you actually received. So they try to gather the basic information about the employer and what your job was set up like before it ended, and then that just stays as a terminated record.
Okay. Sorry, someone's at the door.
Oh, well, if you need to go check it, you can, or if you have someone else at home that can grab it, that's fine too.
Nah, it's Uber Eats, I think.
Nice. All right. And then out of your final paycheck, was there anything withheld besides the regular taxes? Any kind of like court-ordered child support or anything else?
No.
Overpayment? Okay, good deal.
No, I don't have any kids or anything.
Keeping it simple, huh, Dean?
Thank God. I mean, the way the world is today.
Yeah, that is so true. Okay. So I apologize for the delay, and I appreciate your patience. Thanks for hanging in there with me. We will get through this. We're getting towards the end as we go.
Yay.
Okay, so just want to make sure that I have everything on there. And you mentioned that you were hired to work approximately 34 hours a week. Did you consistently stay above 30 hours a week before the pandemic issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I've now entered your employer information, I've entered your regular paycheck information, and I've just finished entering your termination information so that you know that all of that's in there and taken care of and accounted for according to what you had reported to me, okay?
Okay.
Beautiful. And we're cruising on through. All right, and we already reviewed no other income besides those wages which have ended, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry to ask you the questions over and over again. It's as I go through each screen, I want to make sure that I'm inputting information that you're reporting to us. So that's why we're confirming those.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it just seems like it's asking a lot of questions about like what I used to do, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. So because it looks at benefits for that month, it does look at those details. You're right. But it is a lot, and I understand that. So Dean, do you currently pay for any rent or utilities?
Yeah, I have an apartment and I have to pay $550 a month.
Okay. We'll get into those details here in just a second. How about any child support, alimony, or spousal support? Do you pay any of those?
Nope, never been married, no kids.
Good deal. Do you have any medical expenses if you are disabled of any Social Security determination? So if Social Security is determined, okay, good deal.
No, I had insurance to work and they want me to pay for some kind of COBRA or something, but I'm probably
That
not going
stuff's
to be able to do that.
expensive. Yes, I hear you. Absolutely. Okay. And then last question about expenses in regards to the general information would be if you're paying for any educational expenses, but you already mentioned that you're not in any current schooling. So I just want to double check. No educational expenses at this time, correct?
No, no, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay, Dean, let's talk a little bit about your rent. About how long have you been in the place where you've been paying $550 a month?
I've been here about 6 months.
Okay. All right. And do you receive any assistance from HUD, Section 8, Housing Authority, anything like that?
No, it's just a real tiny studio, so I lucked out and got a pretty cheap place.
Perfect. Okay. Do you receive any other help from anyone else, like family or friends, that help you pay your monthly rent?
No, not right now.
Okay. And then are any utilities included in your rent?
Yeah, they included the electricity and the water and stuff. I have to pay for internet and my phone and stuff, but that's it. It's like, you know, just my communication stuff I pay for.
Sure. Okay. And your electric that's included, is that how you heat your home?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like I said, super tiny.
Makes it easier to heat them, right? All right, so just getting those details added. And we've got your rent in there, and then I'm just going to add the utilities as we just talked about. So it'll take just a minute to get that input, and then we'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, I can't see what you're doing, but I can hear the keys. So.
And nobody else helps pay for your electric heating, is that right?
No, the electric heating is included in the rent.
Thank you. I even heard you say that the first time. I apologize. You said that you pay for your communications.
Yeah, like internet, phone, you know.
Okay. All right. Client statement. There we go. Okay. And then have you received the Heat and Eat program in the last 12 months? Sometimes you receive a notice from us that's called LIHEAP, L-I-H-E-A-P. I know you didn't have food stamps. Sometimes other programs administer it as well. Is that
Never
something
heard of it.
okay. I was just going to say, most people know if they've heard of it, they know what it is. And if not, well, then that answers the question. So that works good. Bear with me just 1 second.
Can I get that?
The LIHEAP, the LEAP,
Yeah.
it is something that our system looks at the factors once they have an open food stamp case to make sure that they qualify for it. And so it's not actually something that I as a worker determine, but it is something that if you qualify for it, they will send you a notice in the mail and you'll see that.
Okay.
They also give you a little extra bounce on the once a year on the food stamp. So it's not a huge amount, but if you see some smaller $20-ish amount, that's what that can be. I want to double check and make sure that I have your entry in here correct. And I do, because I had started it as your electric and you mentioned it was the included. So I wanted to make sure that I had that, which it looks good. Okay, so we have successfully gotten your income entered. We've gotten your rent entered and your telephone utility that you pay for outside of your rent.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting on my system. There it is. Okay. Have you had any recent lottery winnings that maybe are over 25,000 or more that are in a checking, savings, or cash?
Oh man.
That's always my favorite question to ask people because the answers are always so entertaining.
Yeah.
We all wish we did. Usually the common one I get is, well, if I did, would you think I'd be on the phone with you?
Yeah, they sold a $3 million ticket at our Winco though. They had that up on the wall for a while that they were like, hey, we're lucky place to buy that stuff from.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. And Dean, do you have any kind of like a checking or savings account, stocks, bonds, CDs, anything like that?
I have a checking account only. That's all
Okay.
I got.
I like your style, Dean, keeping it simple. Makes life more enjoyable.
Indeed.
Okay. Dean, about how long have you had your checking account?
Oh God, since I've been like 20, so 8 years.
Okay. Sorry, about 20 years or about 8 years? I didn't hear what you said. I apologize.
Oh yeah, no, about 10 years, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just opened
That's
it and
close
kept
enough.
it. Yeah.
All right. And what bank is that at? Just out of curiosity?
Why? You need a loan?
Nope. Good to go.
Chase.
Awesome. Thanks. They just try to keep accurate information in your case is all. And then should any part of that balance be excluded? So do you have anything set in your checking account for a specific reason other than just your daily use of it?
Oh, I'm just saving up for my rent next month and hoping,
Right. I hear you. Absolutely. It sounds like you were probably pretty organized to be able to get your October rent taken care of out of your September income, it sounds like.
Yeah. Like you said, I like to live simple, so I don't really need a lot. I play video games online, whatever.
Nice. And no other owners on that checking account at Chase, correct? Just you?
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you estimate is your balance in that account after you've paid your October bills?
About $300.
Okay. Hey, that's $300 more than I would expect. Good for you. Absolutely.
Well, I save some, I try not to spend everything every month.
Absolutely. Okay. So we've gotten that checking account entered, no problems or questions there. We're just skipping on through our resources. Okay, So Dean, do you currently receive any benefits in any other states beside Oregon? And we're talking about things like SNAP or food stamps, TANF or cash aid to young families, medical, child care assistance, tribal child care. I know you don't have kids, but we just have to kind of list off all of them. Are you receiving any of those in any other states right now?
Nope.
Okay. And you haven't had food stamps or those same programs with Oregon prior to today, is that correct?
No, I've always been able to work at least enough to make it by. I just figure I'll leave it for somebody else that needs it more than me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, and just so that you know, the food stamp program is an entitlement program. The computer goes through, are you eligible, are you not? If you're eligible, you are absolutely entitled to those benefits. So we understand that, especially in the pandemic times, but even outside of that, there's a lot of costs on your plate, and these food stamps might be able to alleviate some of that stress. So I'm glad that you called us and that we're going through this today. So. All right, just some quick yes or no questions and I believe I know the answer, but I need to hear your statement on it. So providing care to any incapacitated individuals at this time?
What is that? You mean like caring for somebody who, oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think,
but you were on the right track. Yeah, just somebody who can't care for themselves that needs you to care for them is what that's asking about here.
Yeah, no.
Okay, fleeing felon or in violation of parole or probation terms?
Do I know any?
Are you?
No.
All right, good deal. That's another one that I like to hear the answers on. They're always entertaining. And then you already mentioned that you have applied for unemployment, correct? But just haven't heard back from them?
Right.
Okay. And then no drug or alcohol treatment facilities that you're participating with at this time, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, they sure are noisy, aren't they?
Well, they want to make sure, what we do is we put all of that in there into the computer system to make sure that we get you into the most benefits that we can possibly offer you. So if there's something that might be a benefit to someone who's in drug and alcohol treatment, we want to make sure to offer that to them. And same thing with all those other questions too. Okay, so Dean, I just need to do a quick note here and add in that you are pursuing the unemployment. And it just takes a second to get through that.
Be nice if they picked up the phone over there.
Yeah, I hear you, absolutely. Did you take advantage, or were you able to make it work for you? But their online option, I know they've gone online with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Good. How'd that go for you?
I don't know.
Well enough, you got to the end?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything back, but yeah.
Sure. Okay, Dean, so I do need to read a statement to you and ask you a question. If you are not registered to vote where you live now, would you like to apply to vote today? Applying or declining to register will not affect the amount of assistance you will be provided by the agency.
I'm already registered, so thank you for asking.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so Dean, we have successfully made it to the end of the application. Thank you for hanging with me on that. I appreciate it. What I want to do now is be able to get your, basically your signature to the application over the phone, if you're okay with that. Do you have time for that right now? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump over into my phone software system, get that all set up. Then I'm going to have you listen to an automated message. I will be on the line in the background, and then when it's all done, I'll come back online with you, and we'll finish up with the eligibility results. Sound okay?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so hang on just one second. Okay, Dean, thank you so much for capturing the signature electronically with me, and I will upload that information to your file so that it's attached to your case, and then we'll go ahead and let the computer work its magic, and we should be able to come up with a result for you here in just a moment.
Oh,
and let you know what we might be able to help you out with.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know I would find out right now. That's sweet.
Okay, Dean, so looks like we've gotten an eligibility determination, meaning the computer has ran the rules against your case and applied it to it. We do have you approved for food stamps, so success number one. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that means, okay?
Okay.
All right. So for your initial month, you applied on the 7th, which is today. So we give you a prorated amount from today through the end of the month. For
Mm-hmm.
October, we also take into account your income that you did receive, that final check on the 2nd, and then your rent and utility costs. For this month, for the month of October, we've got $164 that'll be coming to you. Do you need to receive that today, or is it okay if it's overnight? What would you prefer?
Well, I just got the Uber Eats, so go ahead and do it overnight. Somebody else can use theirs today. I'll take mine tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. I've jotted that down and I'll enter that as we get to that. So that's what's going to happen with it for the October benefits. Then for November and ongoing, because your case number with us ends in the number 4, your benefits will issue the morning of the 4th of each month, regardless if that's a weekend or a holiday. And at this time, you qualify for the maximum of $204 for a one-person household. That's because we're looking at 0 income because the job's ended, and then your rent and utilities, which are still your financial responsibility. So we know that won't cover everything, but that 204 will sure help out with the monthly costs. And as I mentioned, that loads on the 4th. So
yeah, okay, thanks.
Now, have you ever had food stamps before, Dean?
No,
Okay, so with the food stamp program, the benefits that you get on the card are intended for the people on the case. So that means just you, not buying for other people. And when they go on there, they stay on there for up to 12 months or whenever they're used, whatever comes first. So that means that, think of it like rollover minutes on your phone. If you don't use it all the first month, it'll add on to your benefit the next month. When you go to the grocery store, you can purchase only non-prepared or unprepared food items with this card. So that means that if it's anything like toilet paper or dish soap or household items, it's not going to be able to go on the card. But anything that's unprepared foods like the meat, the deli, the frozen, the canned, all of that stuff, you're fine. Now, the exception to that is if it's hot and ready to eat in the deli, can't go on there. So I can't walk up and get JoJo's and a burrito. But if you go to the cold section of the deli and it has to be warmed up, then that's considered unprepared. So if you have any questions on that, the cashiers at the grocery store usually are pretty familiar with it and can tell you if that can go on the food stamp card. When you go to the grocery store, if you buy those household items, it's totally okay to put it all up on the conveyor belt together. And when the cashier rings it all up, you're going to run your food stamp card first. And that way it's going to take off all of the eligible items up to the balance that's on your card. And then it'll leave a balance for you to pay with another means after that. Additionally, when your receipt prints, you will have your food stamp balance at the bottom of it so that you know your ongoing balance. And there's an 800 number on the back of the card that you can call any time of day because it's an automated line to get your current balance. I suggest to all customers to call it, in your case, on the 4th of the month before you go spend the benefits, just to save yourself any kind of embarrassment at the cashiers through the line. So you'll want to make sure to check your benefits to make sure they're there. Call us if they're not. We'll figure out what's happening with it. But at this point, we're going to go through a couple more screens on here, and then I'll get you some more information about how to get that card. How would you prefer to get that? I see you're in White City. Are you able to make it down to our White City office?
Yeah, I drive by. Used to drive by it on the way to work, so I know where it is.
Sure. Okay. So just regular business hours, go in there and let them know that you have a brand new food stamp case. You have not gotten a card before and you'd like to get one, and they can accommodate that. And you'll pick out your PIN number there so that we don't assign it to you. You get to pick it. Sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the food stamp card portion, and about how to use the benefits and where you can use them. The reporting requirements. So as long as you have only the food stamp program, you need to let us know very little. If you add other programs, know that your reporting requirements change, but right now the way that your case sits, we need to know if you go at or above $1,383 gross income per month. So that's your line. If you get income, right now you're at 0 as far as the ongoing income. Let's say, for example, you got $600 a month. That is under that $1,383 and does not have to be reported until the next time that your food stamp case is due, which is 12 months from now. So if you go over that 1383, please let us know, and then we can proceed with how to act on the case after that. The other thing that's a really good idea is to keep us updated with any changes to your mailing address, because that way you can still get our correspondence that gets sent to you, our notices. So okay, so that's the reporting requirements for that program. And then I'm going to ask you a couple follow-up questions, and then we'll make sure to get the benefits issued onto the card for tomorrow. And that gives you time to get down to the White City office and get the card. Again, remember that if the benefits are loading tomorrow, that you can't go spend it today. You'll need to check your card to make sure that the balance is loaded. Okay. So, are you a current military service member or served in the armed forces?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right, and I've got the food stamp program set to issue the benefits overnight now. Okay. And so we've gotten that authorized, and those benefits have been issued, or excuse me, have been sent to issue overnight for you. So that's not a problem. Okay, Dean. So earlier in our conversation, a couple of times, I remember you mentioning that you're eager to get back to work. Did I hear that correctly? Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Wonderful. So this is a great opportunity to kind of bring up some of the programs that getting started with the food stamps can kind of open some other doors for you. So when we have folks that are between ages 16 and 60, and you meet certain requirements, which is based off of the information you gave me in this interview, we ask that they try to get back to work. It sounds like that matches your goal, so that's great. And there's a couple different programs that we offer with that. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up, but you'll also get this information in the mail, so it'll give it a chance for it to kind of sink in a little bit more, because I know I've given you a ton of information on this call today. So if you don't mind, I'd like to take just a quick minute and kind of tell you a little bit about those programs, get you kind of thinking about it, and then when it comes in the mail, you'll also have that information to kind of reaffirm that into your memory, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Okay, so they're called, well, we have a couple different ones. We have the employment and training programs. Within that is the offset program, which is the Oregon Food Stamp Employment and Training. There's the ABOD, which is the Able-Bodied Adults Without Dependents. And there's the STEP, which is the SNAP Training and Employment Program. So each one of those offers a little bit different of a package. And when we connect you with the main branch, you'll be able to, with your local branch, excuse me, we'll be able to get you a little bit more information in depth about that. But I just wanted to let you know kind of what they do and who needs to do them. So when somebody is trying to get back to work, oftentimes there's small hurdles in their way, as you are well aware. And so whether that be maybe gas cards or maybe clothing that's appropriate for the line of work, or resume building skills, computer access, all of those pieces that now come with applying for jobs, because it's no longer just walk in and fill out an application. Those are all pieces that we can offer some assistance with. So you'll get lots of information in the mail on that. Hopefully that opens up a couple doors for you. It also comes with a couple requirements that you need to do as well. So basically, you're just going to want to really make sure that you stay in touch with us about those jobs. We ask that if we're going to help you to try to get employment, that you take any like a viable job offer, you know, nothing that's unrealistic, but if it's a realistic job offer, then we ask that you take that. We ask that you don't quit or reduce your work hours without having good cause. So that's a lot bigger conversation that usually happens when we know a little bit more about the scenario. So if something like that comes up and it's relating to hours after you gain employment, if you're still on the program with us, then you'd want to make sure and let us know as soon as it happens, or before it happens, talk to your caseworkers about it, so that we can make sure to let you know how that works with your eligibility on those programs. But basically, we're going to offer more services to be able to help you gain that employment. And in response, we ask that you take any employment and you don't reduce any employment or quit any employment without letting us know and talking to us more about it. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds like anytime I have anything going on with a job, I just got to give you guys a call.
Yeah, if you have a change to that at all, then you want to let us know. Also, if they ask you to show up to things, then you would, if it's like you sign up for a seminar or something, you want to make sure to show up to it. So those are the type of situations. And then, like I said, if anything happens or you are unable to make it to something like that, stay in touch with us. And I say us as a pretty liquid term. You'll get more details on who specifically you'll stay in touch with after we get you through to the branch so that we can get you through to the worker that's designed or designated for that. Okay?
Okay.
Wonderful. All right. Well, hang tight for me just one quick second and I'll get that all queued up.
Due to COVID, individuals are not required to participate in ABOD. How to make a connection to SNAP ENT Navigator is outlined in the Able-Bodied Without Adults ABOD ETOP.
All right, Dean. So now we've had a chance to talk about the food stamp case being approved, what those benefits look like, how you get your card, when the benefits will issue, as well as the requirements of when you need to report stuff to us. And then I also wanted to make sure that you were aware of other resources outside of that. Have you ever used 211 or are you familiar with that?
No, I don't know what 211 is.
Okay, so 211, you can either access it on the web or you can call it, just typing in 211 on your phone and hitting send. And that's going to connect you to a resource center that is statewide and they keep their resources updated. So what you're getting is not old information. And then they can talk to you about where you're located and what type of resources you're looking for, whether that's housing, employment, there's a daycare, there's a whole bunch of different ones that they have, and see if there's any other resources that might be able to help you out in this transition phase for you. And so they're a really good one to contact during regular business hours. And again, that's just 211 from any phone, or you can check them out on the web. Any other questions or anything else that I can help you with before I get you transferred to the local office to talk with you further about the employment programs?
No, just thanks for everything. Yeah, it was really quick. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, I really appreciate your time, taking the time to complete the application over the phone with me today. I'm glad that we could get a resolution for you. And I'll go ahead and get your call transferred now, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.